The story begins in a cold wasteland. A carriage transport an orc-like creature to a jail. Is introduced to his cellmates, Bard Ed Davis and Barbadian Holger Kalgor. The orc tries to sneak up on Olga, who answers by shattering his leg and bashing his face. The next day, Edin and Olga are hauled before the Absolution Council to present their case for a pardon appeal. Edin begins by explaining the council his history in order to explain why he and Olga are there. He used to be a member of the Harper faction, an organization of spies that oppose evil. Edin has a daughter, Kira, with Zia. When a group of red wizards attacked Edin's home and killed Zia, he became a widowed father who turned his back on the Harper. He encountered Olga, who had been exiled for our tribe for falling in love with an outsider, while he battled to fend for herself and Kira. Despite their best effort, Edin and Olga turn to stealing, and Olga acts as a surrogate parent to Kira. Edin and Olga eventually joined up to steal from others alongside novice sorcerer Simon Elmer and rogue forge Fields Williams. When they met a wizard named Sophina, everything changed. She asked for their assistance in robbing Corinne's keep, a Harper stronghold brimming with gold. While Edin initially refused, Forge persuaded him when he told him that the keep contains the tablet of reawakening, which he realized he could use to resurrect Zia. When Sophina's true intentions were revealed, she used a time-freezing spell to capture Edin and Olga. Edin gave Forge the tablet and asked him to care over Kira, while Simon escaped. Edin completes the narrative while waiting for a council member called Jonathan to arrive. When he does, Edin and Olga use Jonathan, a bird creature, to break through the window and fly outside despite the council's approval. Now that they are free, the two thieves decide to move Forge so that Edin may retake the tablet and recapture Kira. They visit a bar and discovers a flyer revealing that Forge is now Lord of Neverwinter. The two set off towards Neverwinter, which is gearing up for the annual Heist Games. They reconnect with Kira, who is more pleased to see Olga, who nicknamed Kira Bog, than she is to see Edin, believing Edin abandoned her for selfish reasons.
I am so sorry for how things turned out.
They all met with Forge, who has made himself Lord of Neverwinter by stealing the treasure from Corinne's keep. Forge also admits that he had Sophia acting as an advisor for him. Edin later discovers that Forge has been telling Kira that he was jailed for stealing wealth rather than the tablets of reawakening.
The reason why I agreed to the heist is that what he's told you, that I left you for more riches?
When he and Olga try to capture Forge, Sophina traps them with her magic. He has his soldiers apprehended the two and is about to detain them when Sophina orders the man to execute them. Olga beats up the soldiers, allowing herself and Edin to flee once more. They determine that they must arrange a robbery to get Kira out of Forge's castle, but they will need help. With the Heist Games approaching, other lords from other kingdoms will gather their treasure and bring them to Forge's vault, where the tablet sits, to pay their team. Edin and Olga go in search of Simon, who is entertaining people with magic skills. He utilizes the tricks to distract the audience while casting a spell to take their wealth and valuables. As the people pursue him, Simon uses the spell he knows to try to flee, nearly killing himself until he meets Edin and Olga. He tries to take down Forge, but warns the two that the location will be closely guarded. Simon then informs them about someone he knows who can assist them. The three set out to find Doric, a young druid Simon attempted to woo but was rejected by. They wait as a young woman is about to be executed by having a limb severed by a horse, only to discover that the horse is actually Doric in disguise. She turns into an old bear. The team arrives at a graveyard full of bodies that fought in the Evermoons long ago, and knocks the criminal off their feet before releasing the woman. Following that, the trio approaches Doric, who is wary of humans because her own family abandoned her because she is a type lion. She explains why she wants to take down Forge. He has imprisoned or killed her people for questioning his authority, therefore she wants to fight for the other druids. Sophina converses with her lord, the late Saz Tam, in her rooms. He entrusts her with the ultimate plan, which Sophina thinks will help them achieve their ultimate aim. Sophina then joins Forge as he meets with other lords to prepare the Heist Games, but she smells the presence of Doric, who has shapeshifted into a fly to spy on Forge's meeting. Forge's men pursue her, but she manages to transform into whatever shape she needs to escape and rejoin the rest of the crew. Doric informs them that the Acne seal of Medicanian guard Forge's vault, which Simon believes it will be unable to penetrate unless he possesses the helmet of disjunction, which is fabled to have gone missing millennia ago. Olga, on the other hand, claims to know the whereabouts of the helmet because her ancestors fought the cult of the dragon and may know where it went. The only problem is that they've all disappeared. The crew comes at the graveyard filled of dead from long past battles in the Evermoons. The corpses can only stay alive for up to 5 questions asked of them using Simon's power. They must search among several bodies to uncover the helmet of disjunction, since many of the warriors perished passing it to one another. The final body they talk with informs them that the helmet was passed down to a Tian called Zenk Yenda, who played to keep it secure. Edgen hasn't trusted Tian since the murder at Zaya, but Simon and Doric have heard of Zenk's heroism as a paladin, and even Olga can back them up. The crew arrives to see Zenk's bravery as he saves a tiger youngster from a sea creature that has devoured it. They met with him afterwards to seek for his assistance in bringing down Forge. He gathers them together to discuss the Red Wizard past. Shaz Tam sought to establish an undead army by enslaving the inhabitants of the country. Zenk mulls on what Forge might gain by collaborating with the Red Wizard. Zenk offers to join the squad only if Edgen promises to share Forge's wealth with the people of Neverwinter. On their way to the helmet, Zenk describes how he witnessed the unholy power of Zashtam and how it corrupts good people into slaves to evil, which is why he abandoned the Red Wizard path and used his ability for good. Zenk very recently managed to avoid the Red Wizard spell, which is why he has a mark on his forehead. He leads the others inside the Orifice, a subterranean city where the helmet is kept. They have to cross a chasm, but Simon inadvertently activates a device that causes the bridge to fall. Fortunately, Olga is carrying what she believes was a cane, but Simon discovers it actually a Hitchatita staff, which creates portal and allows them to cross the gap safely. Tyans confront the gang as they approach the helmet. Zenk attacks them, but because they are undead, they do not die. As they flee, the very fast dragon, Taberchurd, pursues them after devouring the Tyans. Edgen is about to be devoured when Zeng stabs the dragon in the head. Unfortunately, it does not die, trapping the heroes in a cavern that fills with water. Before Simon uses a spell to blast a hole in the cavern and allow them to swim to the surface, Edgen devises a plan for Olga to provoke Taberchurd. Zeng bids the others farewell as he heads home after reaching the beach. When Simon tries to take control of the helmet, he encounters his ancestors and Mr. Armor, who doubts Simon's abilities and refuses to let him attune with it. Simon tries for hours, but is always rebuffed.
We've got a problem. I can't do it.
The team's morale is low, and Simon and Doric intends to leave, but Edgen does his best to keep them going. He does, however, acknowledge to them that he is to blame for Zaya's death since he took wealth from the Red Wizard, which is why they pursued him. With Olga's support, the crew devises a new strategy for breaking into Fort's vault by employing the staff. The team uses a portrait to open one portal as a carriage of Fort's treasure makes its way into Neverwinter for the start of the heist games. While they manage to sneak in, the entrance to the portal gets blocked when the portrait falls face down on the floor. Edgen encourages them to proceed by improvising. Simon uses a brief illusion of Edgen playing a song to distract the guards, but it starts to go wrong when Simon gets his foot stuck. Once inside, Olga fights more guards while Simon tries once more to attune with the helmet. Edminster confronts him again and tries to reject him, but Simon hits him, allowing him to attune with the helmet. He employs his newly discovered magical talent to aid in the struggle against the guards. Simon and Olga discovers the vault, but it is empty, leaving the team to believe Forge has relocated his wealth elsewhere. They, along with Doric, are crippled and captured. Sophina, disguised as Kira, dupes Edgen. When Forge arrives, he intends to lock them all up, but Edgen recommends that Forge allows them to play in the games, to which Sophina agrees, but with the caveat that they may die there. Doric explained to the squad that she observed the guard transporting the treasure to a boat when they are set out on the Coliseum, implying that Forge is simply attempting to take wealth from the other people attending the games. The event begins with the team battling with others in a dangerous maze packed with animals and traps such as iconic Galicia's Cube. While the other players are having a bad day, Derek devises a plan to allow her and her friends to teleport out of there. The heroes arrive at the pier, where they discover the boat containing Forge's treasure as well as the riches taken by him. It brings Kira as they attempt to convince her that Edgin will flee again. But as Edgin explains himself, Forge reveals his real color to Kira by putting a knife to her throat so that the heroes may step back from the wealth. Olga smacks him in the face with a potato, forcing him to let Kira go. She joins her father and his pals on the boat to grab the gold, with Simon casting his spell to induce a wave to hit Forge. As they reconcile, Kira forgives Edgin. As they set sail, the heroes notice a dark cloud forming in the sky, which is Sofina's plan to use a Tyan Orn, the one Edgin and Olga were arrested for stealing, to enslave all of the game's attendees as part of the Red Wizard army. The trio returns to Neverwinter to bring Sofina to justice. While she is successful in obtaining members of the Neverwinter Council, the heroes return, and Simon uses the staff to create a portal from the boat to the hot air balloon, causing all of the riches from the boat to spill onto the street and the people to flee the Coliseum, thwarting Sofina's plan. The Red Wizard captured and attacks the heroes, summons a gigantic stone dragon to attack them with her magic. While she employs other trap and tricks, the team attacks Sofina before she appears to stop them with the same time freezing spell she used against them previously. She gloats over her win until it is revealed that she was the one duped, because Kira used a medallion to make her invisible so that she could strap a magic surpassing cuff on her as Simon countered her spell. Derek transforms into her old bear form and throws Sofina around before failing her into a Kremlin wall and eventually destroys her. While the team is celebrating their victory, they discover that Holga was mortally wounded in the battle and dies. Edgin understands Holga was the closest thing Kira had to being a mother growing up, so he chooses to utilize the Tablet of Reawakening to resurrect Holga. The squad celebrates the completion of the games and the formation of a new family with the locals. Meanwhile, Forge tries to flee but is apprehended by Zenk. Since Sofina is no longer present, Lord Neverember reawakens and bestows medal on the heroes for saving Neverwinter. Forge is imprisoned and attempts to make an appeal for his release by explaining his terrible past, but the council rejects it. He locates Jonathan and attempts to fly away again, but the council made certain that the conference was held in a place with no windows, so Forge just charges into a wall. Midway through the credits, the last body that the squad left alive requests that no one interrogates him so that he can return to being dead. You have made it this far. In appreciation, please like, subscribe, watch other recaps, and share with your loved ones.